Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. In this video today I'm going to be showing you how to do a beautiful little mountainscape, not this one, a little smaller one, using very simple techniques that anyone of any age or skill level can do. But before we get started, please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. They really help out the channel. Okay, so the first step is to make sure that your surface is well primed, and here I'm using my standard 8 by 10 birch panel. And then we're going to go in with some really soft pink colors for the sky, starting with a light peachy tone at the bottom, working way up to magenta and then lavender at the top. Whenever painting a sky, you always want to have the darkest colors at the top of the painting and have them go lighter towards the horizon line. This gives the illusion of space. And now we're going to take a dry brush and go into titanium white and a little bit of yellow to warm up these clouds. We're going to very gently scratch them into our surface in little circular motions. You want to make sure that when you do your clouds, you want them smaller and thinner towards that horizon line and fluffier and brighter the higher up they go in your painting. And I'm going to brighten up my clouds a little bit with some yellow so they're not just white. And now, again, it's my favorite part of the painting where we take our trusted palette knife and scratch in these mountains by putting a little bit of paint on the tip and just cutting right into it. Just choose a dark color. It doesn't really matter which one, but for this painting, we're going to be focusing on some lavender colors. So I chose a dark purple for that first layer of mountain. Then we're going to go in with a little bit lighter version of that same color for the shadows. So I'm focusing mainly on the left side for my shadows here. And now we're going to do the same thing, but on the right for the highlights. We'll be using titanium white, magenta, a little bit of bright red, a touch of that violet, and we're creating a really warm, beautiful glow to the mountain. Don't overthink where these highlights go. Just have fun with it and let that palette knife flow across the painting. You'd be surprised with how they turn out. So unfortunately, I forgot to film this next part. I was distracted by my kitten who wandered into my workspace again and kind of made a mess of things, so I had to go deal with that. But don't worry, because there's 3 layers of these trees. So we're going to start off with our fan brush into a light green color or minty color, whatever you prefer. And you're going to go ahead and drop them in the background at the base of the mountain. And then the second layer, which is what I'm doing now, is going to be a darker version of that color. Since these are closer, they'll be not only darker, but a little bit bigger and have some more defining features. You want to make sure that your trees are not totally straight. This just won't look right in your painting. Trees usually don't grow like that. With the exception of one time, I noticed that they did, and it was the weirdest thing I have ever seen in nature. I was up in St. Helens visiting there a couple years ago, and since all the trees were growing back at the same time, they were all the same size, and it literally looked like somebody copied and pasted trees across the landscape. Really bizarre, totally beautiful area. If you're nearby, go check it out. It's pretty cool. But in paintings, you don't want to do that. So make sure that some of your trees are a little crooked. They're at different angles. Some are going to be a little taller than others, some a little shorter. Just kind of make them a little random if you can. And here we're putting in that third layer of trees. Again, I've gone even darker with that color. The trees are going to be much bigger. They're going to be more defined. And see, already by adding in this third layer of trees, we have given so much space to this little tiny painting. We've pushed that first layer of trees all the way back there. And now we're going to go ahead and drop in some water. I'm going to take that same color of the first layer of trees, and I'm going to put that down for my first layer of water here. Now I'm going to take that same pink color I used for the mountain highlights and work that into the water. Next, I'm going to take just a little bit of that darker violet from the mountain as well and work that into the water too. And then I'm going to take a little bit brighter pink and add that back into the water as well to give it some more highlights. Now we're going to load up our fan brush with the same color from the last layer of trees, and we're going to go ahead and mirror them into the water. We'll also be taking a 1-inch flat brush, and we'll quickly brush them down and then across to let them blend into the water. Keep in mind that you do have to work quickly because these are acrylic. Then take your palette knife using a little bit of titanium white, maybe a little touch of that minty color as well, and go ahead and scratch that across to create a water line. And then you can also do it in the rest of the water to give a little ripple effect to it. Now we're going to anchor our painting with a couple of trees, one on each side. So take your fan brush and load up a dark color. I've chosen a dark violet with a little bit of burnt sienna. Now repeat that process on the other side. Give your tree some character, make him a little wobbly or a little crooked. Already you can see that by adding in these larger, darker trees in the foreground, they're pushing our background even further off in the distance. And now we're going to add some detail and highlights to those tree trunks that we just put in. So take that same color you used, but add some titanium white to brighten it, and gently scratch your palette knife across. And now we're going to repeat that process, but on the other side of the tree. I've chosen to use some violet mixed in with a little phthalo blue and just the smallest touch of titanium white to give it a cool shadow appearance. And now we're going to go in and we're going to put in the branches to our trees. I've loaded up my fan brush with a nice deep green color, and I'm just going to drop them in at random. Make sure your branches aren't all the same. Make sure that they go at different angles. They can go up, down, straight across, any way you like. Curve them, wrap them around, whatever you want. It's your painting. Have fun with it. Then repeat that process on the other side, making sure that your trees don't look like duplicates. Make them unique. I'm noticing that my branches are starting to get lost in that dark green in the background. So what I'm going to do after this is actually lighten my color with some yellow, maybe a little white, so I can brighten up these branches so that they stand out from those trees in the background. So I've added quite a bit of yellow to my brush, and I'm just going to go over the branches one more time with that to really lighten and brighten them up so that they stand out against the background. As I'm looking at my painting, I'm realizing that I don't think I want to leave so much of the tree trunks exposed. Although the trunks themselves are pretty cool with that palette knife technique, I think I need to drop some of these branches down. So I'm going to go ahead and just repeat the process that I just went over, but I'm going to drop them all the way down. So it really anchors the painting a little bit more and kind of forces the viewer to focus in on that mountain. And now I'm going to go in and take an even brighter green color and add some highlights to the trees, focusing mostly on the right, but also anywhere that I feel the tree is too dark and having problems standing out from the rest of the painting. As you can see that this technique is working, the tree is now standing out from those trees in the back. And again, have fun with your painting. We're not focusing on realism here, okay? So your trees can be any color you want them to be. If you'd like to learn how to paint something else, please leave a comment down below and let me know. I do have experience painting other things, including animals and portraits of people. I've even done some abstract work in the past. So please let me know what you'd like to learn how to do. So looking at my branches now, they're pretty good, but I think they could be even better. So I think I'm going to go in with an even lighter color and just touch them here and there in the smallest amounts to really push those highlights even more. There, now these trees have really come to life. The contrast against the back of those minty colored trees and the sky is just lovely. We're just about done here, and I would absolutely love to see what you at home have created. Let me know in the links down below. Shoot me an email. I would love to check out your work. And in case you're wondering if my palette is as messy as yours, there you go. Art is not a clean hobby. And here is our finished piece. It turned out lovely. This is such an easy technique for anybody to create a beautiful little landscape or mountainscape. Anybody of any skill level or age level can do this. Thank you all for watching and happy painting.